We went to Aldi and we got a bunch of different breakfast items so that you don't have to just be eating good old-fashioned bacon and eggs anymore. Hey, I'm here with Bobby Parrish from FlavCity, and we're gonna have some awesome fun cooking up what we got from our Aldi breakfast grocery haul. Hey, I wanna make sure before you go any further that you go ahead and hit that red subscribe button and then hit that little bell icon to turn on notifications. And Bobby, tell them where they can find you.
Over at FlavCity, 4 videos a week, rocking out in the grocery store and in the kitchen.
That's how we all came together, right?
Right.
We know, hey, we're always getting kicked out of grocery stores, doing fun stuff, showing people how to eat healthy. Well, why don't we come together and get kicked out of some grocery stores together, make a bigger scene, which we did.
That's right.
And check out those
we did. That's right.
So, fun fact, this is part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1, we went to the grocery store, we went to Aldi, we had some fun, we taught them what to get.
That's right.
You dropped some knowledge in terms of the ingredients, I dropped some knowledge in terms of what happens inside your body with those foods. And then we also did a video at Costco, which is going to be on your channel.
Yep. Part 1 is the first time I've ever been kicked out of Costco.
Use private property. You guys can't be filming inside the store.
Attribute that to Thomas, so thank you, Thomas.
Yeah. I think when worlds collide, when two people that normally go to grocery stores and occasionally get kicked out come together, we definitely get kicked out. So anyway, without wasting any of your time, what are we making? What's going to happen here is Bobby is a really good acclaimed chef. Like, he's just awesome. So he's going to show me how to cook up some of these inexpensive budget items we got at Aldi. He's going to show me how to make them, and I'm going to just yap my mouth about science and what's going on in your body, because that's just the way to go.
Perfect. Perfect. So I think first up, we're going to make my version of Keto Starbucks egg bites.
Okay.
Super clean, no filler. And then while that's baking in the oven, we're going to make a mini meatball hash with vegetables and a fried egg.
Sweet. That's awesome. If you watch our haul video, you never would have known that we're going to be making this much amazing food off of the basic stuff we got from Aldi. It's so cool.
So easy. So,
all right, well, where are we going?
All right, we're going to first blend up the ingredients for the Starbucks egg bites. So we have 5 eggs. I'm just going to drop them in the processor here.
Now again, you saw from the Aldi video, if you watched part 1, we went with the best option that we could get there, which they don't have the full-blown pasture-raised eggs, but they have a pretty close second in this particular case, and best of what you're going to get for Aldi. Now, so you're using the whole egg here?
Correct.
Okay. So if you've watched my channel before, I do talk, if you're doing keto, one thing that you can do, we're not going to do it in this video just because we don't want to screw around with the recipe too much, but have you ever played around with actually just using the yolk in a recipe like this?
I haven't, but I'm curious to see what you're going to say about that.
So what's going on is, believe it or not, it's the white that has most of the antibodies and the immune system components for growing the chicken and the egg, right? So when we as humans consume the white, that's what could potentially cause any kind of inflammatory reaction. Not saying it does, but if you are sensitive to eggs, it might be more than likely is the white, not the yolk. So you also want that nice fat to protein ratio on keto, so go ahead and have the yolk. That's all the good stuff.
I love that. Very cool. All right, so we put a little bit of unrefined salt in there.
Okay.
And then for the cheese, we picked out that cheddar cheese over at Aldi. So I'm going to put a ½ cup in there.
All right.
Normally we would grate them, but this is a bare bones, every man's kind of kitchen thing. Thomas didn't have a cheese grater. I said, you know what? Here's the homemade cheese grater. You do it by hand, you'll get it done, right? No problem.
Exactly. You know what's cool? So we use the white cheddar.
Yes.
The more aged cheese you can get, the better, because it's going to have less of the A1 casein and more of the A2 casein, which is an shouldn't say anti-inflammatory, but less inflammatory. I know I'm using that word a lot. What that means is you're going to have less of that immune system response that makes you feel lethargic. So on keto, we're trying to constantly combat that inflammatory response. So we don't want to defeat the purpose by having really low quality cheese. So this is the one that we got from Aldi, was an aged white cheddar. We could have gone for a Gruyere, we could have gone for a Swiss, something like that.
And they didn't have grass fed at this one, so
exactly.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. But when you buy them at Starbucks, number 1, it's overpriced. Number 2, they're using the lowest quality cheese possible, and they put stuff like emulsifiers in there, potato starch. You don't want that. Yeah. So now we're doing that cream cheese. We got about a ½ cup. And you can also, in the cookbook here, it says to use cottage cheese, but in case you have like an aversion to cottage cheese because it reminds you of your grandmother, like eating out of a cantaloupe, you just use cream cheese. No one's gonna care.
Cool thing, and also the cream cheese is generally, like when you're going at a store like Aldi, you're gonna probably have a cleaner opportunity with cream cheese than you are with cottage cheese, because Aldi didn't have the good quality.
In the video. Yeah, the ingredients on the cottage cheese were pretty sketchy. It wasn't as good as like
carrageenan and lots of
we don't want that. So that's it. All we do now is blend it. So easy. You don't even have to whip it. But the key is the blender gets a lot of air in there, so it's going to make it light and almost like a souffle.
Got it.
I'm going to blend it up for 30 seconds. Okay, the oven back there is preheating at 300 degrees.
Okay, 300.
Yeah,
so
and
not a super high temperature.
Yeah, because you want to go low and slow.
Yeah.
I don't want to make these like rubbery. I want to make them soft like a souffle. But the key is, look in the oven back there, Thomas. We have a sheet pan of water in there. It's called a bain-marie or a water bath.
Okay.
And that creates a humid environment. So you slowly almost poach or
interesting.
gently cook the eggs so they're really soft and silky.
That makes more sense. That's
Yeah.
why mine always come out kind of deflated and dry.
Yes,
Okay. That
exactly.
makes
So
perfect
now we
sense.
have a little mini muffin tin. I think this is from the super mini department here. So we're going to fill that up.
It's gonna be like 25 calorie bites.
Exactly. But the best part is, earlier, right before we started, I cooked some bacon and I made the kitchen smell great. But we're gonna put it on top, because I don't know if you've ever had the ones at Starbucks, Thomas. They have a pretty cool layer of bacon marbled across the top. And this is my way of doing it. And we're using that really clean bacon we got at Aldi.
Awesome. And you know what's funny is when you look at the bacon, I talked about in the Aldi video if you didn't watch it, you want bacon that has a thicker ribbon of fat and less marbling.
That was so interesting.
Yeah, you really want to get that good, clean layer of fat because that's actually the pure saturated fat versus the lesser high quality, I shouldn't say the lesser quality, sorry, the lesser high quality, the lesser quality fats that are actually marbled through pork. So it's kind of different with red meat, but with pork. And another cool thing that you might want to note is we use Redmond real salt here.
Yep.
Always a fan of using high quality salt. And the bacon, some of this stuff you guys can get over at Thrive Market. So I always talk about Thrive Market. Bobby talks about Thrive Market. So if you look down below in the description after you watch this video, there is a link to Thrive Market. So you can get a lot of the ingredients that we're using for today's video cheaper through Thrive than you would at a lot of grocery stores. Now I know we did this precursor to this at Aldi, but the point is that if you don't have an Aldi close by or you just want to get something shipped to your doorstep a little bit easier, I have custom boxes down below that have a lot of these ingredients. So make sure that you check them out.
Cool. All right, now Thomas, why don't you just like sprinkle a few of those bacon bits.
How heavy should I go on it?
Anything you want. There's no rules.
I like bacon.
Yes.
So
Now, whenever you're cooking bacon, if the recipe calls for 3 strips, make 5 because you're going to snack on it. I mean, the hot bacon
because
in
you
a,
saw,
out of
you
a
saw me
pan,
snacking on it.
forget about it.
Or just if you're following my channel and you do a lot of intermittent fasting, just make these up when you're fasting, and that way it's just a clean line where you say, nope, it's a no-go because I'm fasting. Otherwise, you'll always find a reason and convince yourself that it's okay.
Totally. Although the reason that Thomas actually, I think, has broken his fast, I saw, is this cheese, you guys. He's been snacking on this cheese like a little mouse.
Yeah,
He's been liking
I
it.
broke my fast a little because I was like, I saw some cheese, I saw this, I was like, I want to go ahead and I'm going to break it so that I can have some of that cheese.
Yeah, me and his cameraman were munching down on the grass-fed beef sticks at Costco, but Thomas is all about the bacon. Perfect.
That's probably good there.
Okay, so now I like to put this on a little sheet tray because if it happens to make a mess, it doesn't leak in your oven, right?
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to take it back here. I'll wait for JR.
And you might be wondering what's happening with all these veggies. This is for the next recipe. We're doing 2 recipes today, so that's not going on the egg bites, although you probably could put some bell pepper and stuff in there if you wanted to, right?
You certainly could.
So we definitely could have done that if you want to make it more of a veggie mix.
Okay, put those in and see once again the water bath is going to create a nice humid environment there. I'm going to set a timer for, these are smaller, these are extra mini, so I'll set a timer for 20 minutes and then we'll take a look. And then Thomas, why don't you fire up a pan for the mini meatball hash?
Okay, let's see, do you want to go same size here?
Yeah, whichever one you want. So I'm excited because both these recipes are in the Keto Meal Prepping Cookbook, and this is cool because it's a little take on a hash you might get at the restaurant, but they're usually loaded with potatoes and starch, and they're using low quality beef. We were hoping to get grass-fed beef at Aldi. They didn't have it, so we got organic turkey, which is a great substitute.
So we're going to start with the turkey?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to form little meatballs, and then Thomas, why don't you just put a shot of the ghee in here? Talk about the ghee because I was super happy to find that.
Yeah, we were stoked. Actually, can you guys see a spoon over there?
Yes.
Just a little, I can scoop some of this out.
There we go.
All right. So yeah, we were really stoked to find this particular ghee. Well, ghee in general, I've talked about the benefits of ghee, but what happens in your body with ghee is it is clarified butter, which means that it's pure butter fat, pure milk fat. So it doesn't have any of the solids, it doesn't have any of the other inflammatory components that you're gonna find with dairy. In fact, if you are introducing dairy or you don't do a lot of dairy, most of the time you'll still be okay to have ghee. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is if you're on a low carb or a keto diet, sure, you get the healthy fats from there, but it's very high in what is called butyric acid, butyrate. So it's a short chain fatty acid. So the cells that are inside our gut, well, they're living creatures too, right? So we're not talking about the microbiome, we're talking about the cells that line the gut. They fuel on short chain fatty acids. So the cells within our gut can die if they don't get fuel from things like this. Now, certain fibers will turn into short chain fatty acids, but it's a long drawn out process, flax, things like that. You're getting straight short chain fatty acids when you go with something like ghee. So really, really powerful, plus it's stable to cook with. You know, if you cook with butter, you're obviously having the solids and it's going to burn, and you can have some denaturing and some lipid peroxidation where it basically becomes somewhat toxic. Another thing, just to mention Thrive again, if you don't have ghee at your local store, you want to get it at a cheaper price. Actually, let me grab this one over here. Like Thrive's got this one. If we weren't shopping at Aldi, I probably would have just used Thrive's.
It's my favorite ghee, literally ever. Organic,
really
grass-fed.
Organic.
It's like movie theater butter popcorn. It's crazy.
Yeah, it tastes really, really good. So that's usually what I'll use to cook, whether I'm cooking meat or I'm cooking up some veggies. So you'll see me using this stuff a lot. So again, there's a special link down below in the description, and this ghee is in my keto box. So with all my keto groceries and stuff like that.
Cool.
All right, so what are we doing here?
All right, so first, turn the heat down just a little bit. So we're making mini meatballs. Number one, mini meatballs are fun, right? It's breakfast time. Who thought you could eat meatballs for breakfast? Well, you can. I seasoned the ground turkey, organic ground turkey from Aldi, with a little bit of red mint salt, some thyme, and some cayenne. The recipe in the book calls for oregano. They didn't have it, big deal. But we added cayenne because you were keen on that, right?
Because I'm a big fan of what is called substance P, and I know we're getting some sizzle here, so hopefully you can hear me talk. But substance P, what it does within your body is it actually makes it so that it can help you out with pain. So if you are having any kind of older injuries or anything like that, there's a reason they used to put cayenne in certain topical ointments and stuff like that, because what it does is it exhausts the nervous system because of the spice. So for literally, you could put cayenne on your skin and stuff like that, and it's going to exhaust the nervous system to where it depletes substance P so that you have less pain. It does this in the body too from an anti-inflammatory standpoint. Now everything, that's a repeating theme here, right? Anti-inflammatory. So everything we're making here comes from an anti-inflammatory standpoint, because I talk about inflammation constantly on my channel. So basically with cayenne, we're not only getting the thermogenic effect. Yes, it does raise your core body temperature for about a half an hour after you eat it. So you can literally eat some cayenne pepper and get thermogenesis going, where your body, it's like you took a thermogenic fat burner. It's the easiest way to do it, and I always tell people to put it in their coffee and stuff like that, but that tastes kind of funny, right? But if you put it and you mix it up with something like this, you don't really know it, and you're getting the thermogenic effect. So just awesome, awesome stuff there.
Love it, cool. All right, we're gonna brown those. I'm gonna wash my hands so we don't get salmonella. I'll be right back.
All right.
Turn the heat down just a little more.
And in case you didn't watch the Aldi video, we went with ground turkey because they didn't have a ground chicken option. If you have to choose between organic ground chicken and organic ground turkey, go with organic ground chicken because the fatty acid profile is going to be a little bit better, a little less in the way of the antibiotics that you might find in ground turkey.
Good knowledge, I didn't know that.
Learn something new every day, man.
Right. So check out the color on that. You can really see it's getting nice and brown.
Okay.
Crusty meatballs just are fantastic. We'll cook those until they're almost all the way cooked through. Then we'll evacuate the dance floor and get the vegetables. But Thomas was keen on the frozen cauliflower rice. It's not part of the recipe in the cookbook, but I thought we can mimic like a hash brown, like it's super crispy.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So give me another scoop of that ghee right here, my friend.
Let's go. Let's ghee it up.
So I'm just gonna basically cook it like I would hash brown. So relatively hot pan. And this is one of the only times I would use a frozen cauliflower rice. My wife Jessie has a recipe for a keto, actually dairy-free cauliflower pizza crust with frozen cauliflower rice that is gangbusters. So that's another good application. So I'm going to put that in here.
This is just such a screaming deal at Aldi. Like
crazy,
it's just,
dude.
So that's why we had to pick it up. It wasn't like I just only wanted to add cauliflower for cauliflower's sake.
Yep.
It's hard to find good quality cauliflower out there anyway. I would always recommend, whenever possible, going fresh. It really is better. And
it's also cheaper usually
too. Does, but I mean, you've got a time cost associated with it, of course.
Sure, good point.
So, but Aldi had this, and it was a great deal. So it works out really well. But from a health perspective, I talk about this in so many different videos, but cauliflower is cruciferous. So there's two things you need to know about cauliflower. One, yes, it's cruciferous. If you are concerned about your thyroid and it being a goitrogenic food, do not worry. Goitrogenic foods does not mean that it's going to affect your thyroid in a negative way. There's a lot of just misinformation out there. If anything, it's good for your thyroid because it's going to help metabolize additional estrogens with the diindolylmethane that's in it. And that is going to, in turn, help your thyroid. So for me, I think it's one of the most powerful superfoods that's out there simply because of that. And it's so universal. Like you can do this with diced broccoli or rice broccoli or anything like that. But with cauliflower, it's a nice neutral taste, and it just, I don't know.
It's a blank canvas, I say. Like in the book, we do keto cauliflower tots, fried cauliflower rice. It's a blank canvas.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You can add so much flavor. And wait, give this like 5-10 minutes. It'll get like crusty and delicious, and like add such a caramelized note to that. So we're gonna let that happen. We're gonna finish cooking these, and then we'll get some vegetables in the pan.
Okay, perfect.
All right, all right, all right. See, the bacon roll.
Where'd you learn to cook?
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went to culinary school or anything like that.
No. What's that?
Just notice that mirror over there.
Yeah. I now know you're not a narcissist. Just now noticed it.
Nah, I rarely look at myself.
Except when you do that hair, your hair's pretty.
You know what? I had to learn because my wife used to do my hair and she killed it, and then she had no more time. So like, last time I got a haircut, the guy taught me a trick with blow drying it, and so I can get it decent.
Yeah.
They're done. All right, the egg bites are just about done, but look at this, Thomas. I mean, this is why we have the hot pan here.
Okay.
The hash of the rice cauliflower is getting nice and caramelized, so I think I might actually just kill the heat and let them finish cooking through. But it only took 20 minutes for these egg bites. And this is what I like to see. I mean, look at this. They're literally jumping out of the tins here.
Literally?
Literally, look at that.
They're jumping?
They are jumping. They're half out. That's what I call a jump, Thomas. And what's cool is you can already
Chicago
tell
people can't jump, I guess, huh?
they're soft and silky. And you can always cut into one, but if you just pinch one here, I mean, it's almost like a mini souffle, right?
It's like a trampoline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is just plate them up and put them off to the side. Why don't you, here's what I like to do. I want to make sure that the mini meatballs, whether they're made of turkey or beef, are cooked through. So let's sacrifice one to the gods and cut it in half and see if it's done.
So,
and then,
let's go ahead and use, do you want to use a knife? Because we've been using that
sure.
with the, yeah.
There you go.
That looks pretty solid.
That was great.
Yeah.
So let's just push those to the side and any kind of plate over there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to take out our hash here. Now, if you have a hard time getting the water out of rice cauliflower, which is something I don't necessarily care too much with this recipe, take this frozen cauliflower, right, and put it in a tea towel like this, and then squeeze, like flex your biceps, squeeze all the water out of there. That's how you're going to make it a lot more cohesive, kind of if you were making like cauliflower pizza crust. For this one, it's fine. Now, put this on the side. That'll be our bed of our hash. Let's keep firing up that pan there. Okay. Give me another scoop of ghee, and we'll put the vegetables. This is like all ghee all day here.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use the Thrive one.
Mix
Oh,
it
no,
up.
no,
That's
no.
my favorite.
No, it's sealed.
So the little here. Now look at this.
Hey, do you want to go? We've been using ghee. Do you want to go ahead and use some avocado oil on this one, just for the heck of it?
Why not?
Just to get a more diverse.
Let's do 50-50. Let's go crazy, you guys. Let's do 50-50 avocado oil and ghee.
So this avocado oil spray is pretty awesome. Again, another thing you can get on Thrive. You can get avocado oil. Avocado oil, super high smoke point.
Yes.
But the other thing, high in what's called oleic acid.
Yes.
So oleic acid is, get a clean spoon here. I'm just gonna use a fork for now. Oleic acid, very, very good quality fat. Does a lot of things in terms of what's called activating PPAR, which is a specific pathway within the body that basically helps uncoupling proteins, so allows the browning of white fat. So white fat is the unsightly fat that's just hanging out on your body. Right? Okay. Brown fat is fat that has a thermogenic effect. So whenever you are trying to, your body's trying to keep warm, and it's basically what it's going to do is it's going to have like a radiation effect, whereas energy flows through brown fat, much like a radiator heater.
Wow.
That would be in your room, right? And it does this, and it keeps your body warm. But that takes energy. So basically, it's incinerating calories to create heat. Wow. So really, really cool. So that's the cool thing is PPAR helps with that, but also helps with the mobilization of the fats. So literally, if you're doing a ketogenic diet, avocado oil and olive oil high in that oleic acid that converts to OEA, and that OEA, I mean this literally, makes it so you create more ketones.
Sweet. Yeah. That's awesome.
I love cooking with it along with the short chain fat. I mean, it's like actually, if I were to create a really cool hybrid blend, I would create avocado ghee. That would be like a perfect little hybrid.
That's great. That's going to be a new product on the market in 2020.
Right, so
Thomas and Bobby's Avo Ghee. Okay.
Avo Ghee. I like it.
that. Trademark it before someone else does
yes,
it for us.
already done.
Okay, so
Matt, trademark it.
that's hot. In this cutting board here, a few minutes before we started the video, I chopped up some zucchini that we got at Aldi, some red onions, and the tricolor organic peppers. Let's add that to our pan.
Probably don't need all of that, do we?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
That's gonna be perfect. And then why don't you pinch in some red mint salt?
Cool.
Give me two
Yeah,
more.
let's do a little bit more than that.
Yeah. So one of the things I find that most home cooks like us do wrong in the kitchen is we don't season properly. There's a reason why restaurant food tastes awesome. They tend to oversalt it. They use fat like butter. That's why it tastes good. But salt, especially something like unrefined salt, not only makes it taste good, it's not just pure sodium chloride. It has like 60 other trace minerals. It makes the food taste good. It makes vegetables taste more like themselves. It makes steak taste more steaky. So don't be afraid to be aggressive with salt in the kitchen.
Especially if you're on a low carb diet, because then you're losing minerals anyway.
Yeah, good call.
So one of the things is You notice if you're doing a keto diet, you're urinating a lot, you're using the restroom a lot. Well, that's simply because when the carbs are low, the kidneys essentially allow more water to be evacuated. Low levels of insulin tell the kidneys, hey, flush out water. So the kidneys therefore flush out the water, which means what are you losing along with the water? Salt, potassium, your electrolytes. So that's why we always replenish them liberally when we're doing a ketogenic diet.
Yeah, so you can get dehydrated.
So lots of salt.
Yeah. Yep. Which is like contrary to what people think, and a lot of people are worried about high blood pressure. If you eat the refined white salt, that spikes your blood pressure like crazy. If you eat the unrefined one like Redmond, it does not spike your blood pressure.
Not nearly as much of an issue. And contrary to popular belief, salt isn't nearly as much of a hypertensive issue as sugar is. It's the inflammation that triggers the blood pressure more than anything. Hey, there's that operative word once again.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. All right, so we're just going to cook those for about 8 minutes.
Okay.
Once they get towards the end, we have our baby spinach, organic, that we're going to fold in there at the end. We don't want to overcook it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll fire up a couple fried eggs in Bobby and Thomas's avo ghee, and we're done.
This is like a digestive superfood mix here, okay? Because we got the ghee, which is going to be very good, like short chain fatty acids. But then we've got the red onion, super high prebiotic fiber content. I mean, you could put a little garlic in this too and get the same effect, right? So add some garlic.
Totally.
And then zucchini is also really good prebiotic fiber.
Absolutely. So that's why in the cookbook we have 125 recipes like this. Nutrient dense, high fiber, prebiotic fiber, but exciting keto recipes that don't get you tired of eating the same thing over and over.
I'll go ahead and I'll put a link down in the description for your book as well.
Awesome. So in the meantime, I think we should try one of our egg bites here, right?
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to go with one that has the most bacon here.
All right, let's go for this little one.
So look inside, you guys. Dang, that's good.
Yeah, those are really, really, really
Wow.
good.
So each one of these only has about half a gram of net and total carbs.
Wow.
It's crazy. It was 4 or 5 ingredients. That cheese.
It's so inexpensive to make.
So inexpensive.
And you could do this and make it probably even leaner if you wanted to go less cheese, if you wanted to.
Totally.
That is
gangbusters.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
That is,
And meal prep this, right? Double, triple the recipe, like I do in the book. Stash them in the freezer. They're perfect. Thaw them out the night before. On the go. That with like a bulletproof coffee. Breakfast of champions.
I'm going to make those just to have them in the fridge for my kiddo.
Totally.
Like that's a perfect toddler food. Like people are always like, what do I give my toddler first thing in the morning? Trying to like shuffle together, get him something.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. Now when you're not going to Starbucks and loading them up with potato starch.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes after this is ready. Those are good, aren't they?
Those are really
wow.
good.
They came out great. Whoever bought the mini muffin tin, I attribute it to that. The flavor of that cheese is like phenomenal.
It's really good.
Toss down some more avo ghee.
Avo ghee. Let's avo ghee it up. That's a lot of ghee. Boom. Avo ghee. Bam.
So,
TN.
love it, dude. So we're gonna just crack a couple eggs in here. The thing is, when you're frying an egg, you want a good amount of oil in there. Obviously, we got the oleic dough in there. But you want to make it where the bottom gets super, almost caramelized, but the yolk still is runny. And the only way you can do that is literally at a medium-high heat.
Okay.
So it's gonna happen fast and furious, I call Vin Diesel style.
Medium high, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to wait for the avo ghee just to about smoke and then drop them in.
What happens if you go too hot? It's just going to...
If you go too hot, you'll burn the bottom and the top's going to be raw.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's just about right.
Cool thing about eggs too, again, I've talked in my videos, very high in what is called choline, which is something that people don't talk about with eggs all the time. They always talk about biotin, they always talk about the healthy fats, they always talk about vitamin D, which is all great. Vitamin D, hormone signaling, all that stuff is powerful. But choline is a precursor to what is called acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter that is imperative to brain function. So pre-filming, it's not uncommon for me to either fast, or if I do have a breakfast, it's a light breakfast with some eggs, because the choline, being a precursor to acetylcholine, lights my brain up. I feel really good. But also, it's now been shown in other studies that deficiencies in acetylcholine manifest through poorer performance. So when people are supplementing acetylcholine or boosting their acetylcholine through good foods or supplementation, they've actually found that it improves their vertical jump and their performance and their plyometric performance, because basically the brain is able to send a sharper, faster signal to the muscle. It's operating quicker. Cool. It's really crazy stuff. So if you're in keto and you're getting fatigued, boom, egg it up.
Wow, egg and cheddar cheese. Thomas runs on eggs and cheddar cheese, we're learning today.
not quite. Whoa, that one almost got me in the eye. Okay, so we got a lot of fat in there, so that's how you would normally do it?
Absolutely. Okay. So this is done. Let's put the vegetables right over the bed of your rice cauliflower.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't this make you excited to eat breakfast? We
And
talked earlier, part one, about not having the boring eggs and bacon. This ain't boring. There's no eggs and bacon anymore.
That is kind of eggs and bacon.
Well, no, this one here, Thomas. I was talking about this one.
People are
what's
going to be
happening.
like, apparently
No.
they can't read.
So look what's happening. The bottom here is getting a little brown. See that? The color?
Yep, yep.
But the top, and what I like to do is just kind of flick the oil over the white. So you just kind of cook the top there.
Interesting, okay.
And 30 more seconds, we're done here. We'll slide it over there.
Man, now we just sit and watch. Ooh.
We watch eggs fry in Thomas's kitchen get very dirty now. Oh,
whoa!
mamacita. Ah.
That was, there goes my choline.
And then just to cook the egg yolks and the whites around it, spoon that avo ghee right over the top. Give it a little bath. And look at the bottom once again. Isn't that nice? That's just texture, right? So now come over here.
Okay.
Let's put it right on top of our hash.
So it's okay that it's running on top. Is it kind of going to cook itself a little bit more?
No,
or?
it won't, but I would love that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't want it like that, flip it.
No,
Cook it
and
for 30 more seconds.
People think it's unsafe to eat an egg that's
No way.
No. I mean, it's been just saturated in heat. Like any bacteria in there is gone.
Absolutely. All right, so guys, this was like way quicker than I thought. We have the keto version of Starbucks Egg Bites.
Yep.
Done. We have the mini meatball. I almost forgot the meatballs.
I was going to say, when are the meatballs going?
We have the mini meatball breakfast scramble.
Oh my gosh, man, this is.
You know what? I actually forgot to put the spinach in there, but it doesn't even matter.
Okay, we'll at least talk the quick benefits on spinach.
Well, let's fry it up. Throw it in there.
Okay, cool.
Throw it in there.
So if you can use baby kale, use baby kale. It cooks up a lot like baby spinach, but just higher nutrient profile. Baby spinach, very high in iron, which a lot of people are going to say, oh, okay, I'm anemic, I need iron. The thing is you're likely not anemic. You probably just have low levels of iron in your blood, but you don't have, you have sufficient iron in its ferric state, in its other state, basically in your bones and stuff like that. So the point is don't eat spinach for the iron, and don't worry about it for the oxalates. Eat it because it's nice fiber and nice, good levels of chlorophyll and good levels of what you need just in terms of micronutrients. So people are concerned about oxalates. Have you
Nope, never heard of it.
Oxalates are something that are in spinach, they're in almonds, things like that, and they chelate minerals in our gut. So people will say, oh, particularly, I mean, people that are doing predominantly like carnivore and stuff like that, they're a lot of times misinformed about oxalates. Now, I'm not anti-carnivore at all. I'm just saying that this misinformation gets spread out there. So what ends up happening is oxalates will chelate iron, they'll chelate magnesium, things like that in your gut and make it so that you're excreting it out and not absorbing it. So it's a chelation effect. But it's so minimal with what happens in terms of oxalates. And the other side of the equation in terms of benefit that you get from these micronutrients far supersedes and outweighs any potential negative effect that you get from the oxalates.
Wow.
So case in point, don't worry about oxalates, but phytic acid, stuff like that from high amounts of almonds, almond butter, yeah, you want to go easy on that. I usually don't recommend having more than like 4 tablespoons of almond butter a day.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, serious knowledge there. Now, just give me a little pinch of that redmond salt. Where'd that go?
Where'd we go? Oh, I probably ate all of it. Where'd we go?
Oh, here it is.
Oh.
So one tip I want to give you guys is always flavor or season greens like this at the end, because you see how this wilted down to literally nothing. If you season it when it's big, even if you put the whole thing in there, you will over season it in the beginning because it looks like a huge amount of volume. It goes down to nothing. So now we'll just take the spinach, we'll put it around. And look, even though we made a mistake, look at this, it took 30 seconds. We got serious spinach knowledge from Thomas, and now it is done. So this is it. Come on.
It looks like, I mean, it looks Mediterranean.
It does.
Like, it's so amazing.
It does. You ain't gonna get that at Denny's, y'all. You only get this in the Keto kitchen. I mean, that is just delicious stuff. I think.
Talk about the combination of textures you've got there. I mean, I haven't even tasted it yet, but we've got literally like every texture you could think of. Okay, we've got the ooey gooey eggs. We've got a little bit of crispiness there. We've got the crunchy satisfaction from the meatball there. I mean, it's just like every texture you could possibly.
Everything you want.
Too bad you can't get all of it in one bite.
We can try. So, should we try a bite of this?
Heck yeah.
Perfect.
I'm gonna. This one's got a little bit of ghee on it. Is that all right?
I actually like that a lot.
Okay. I think we got that.
Awesome. I'm pretty stoked about it. Let's just cut one of these meatballs.
So?
I don't want to toot my own horn, but you got to get in there,
Okay.
dude,
All
because
right,
that is awesome.
I'm getting in there. Ooh, look at this. Get a little meatball action. Get a little egg action.
Wow.
Get my oxalates. I'm taking a big bite.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
going-
you're putting me to shame. You got seasonings on point. The crust on those meatballs is like banging. Everything is just popping with flavor.
And we barely used really any seasoning.
No, we used minimal. You can even skip any of the spices, just salt. Good to go.
Bobby, that's unreal. So more recipes like that in his, like seriously, I'm legitimately blown away by that. That is.
Yeah, but the thing is, even you say that you're a bad cook, I guarantee you can make that and rock it for your wife and kitty.
Probably could. My kitty?
He seems very, very confident.
Yeah. My kitty? My kiddo or my
Kiddo,
kitty.
yeah.
I could rock it for my kitty too.
Yeah,
I just need a
yeah,
cat.
3
I'm just
kitties, they got to eat, right?
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. And if you haven't already, if you just tuned in here for the recipe videos, you've got to go back to video 1 and watch the Aldi grocery haul so you can hear all the ingredient knowledge and the science behind why we picked what we picked at the store. All the way, soup to nuts, step 1, all the way to step 10. Make sure you go follow my buddy Bobby here. Down below in the description, there's a link out to his channel. You won't be disappointed. And also check out the Costco haul and the recipe videos we're doing for his channel from Costco.
Lots more tasty stuff.
Thanks, Bobby.
Awesome, bro. See you guys.